le sona na le yaso. At semi ne ya o tu ua fa tato wa onga. Tu ua le a o ma tato te a sofa. Sofa, sofa, sofa tamaiti a o nga. Sofa, sofa, sofa ia soifua. Sofa tamaiti.
Talofa, olo e mai mo mai le tautua le ala talua le KVZK TV, Pango Pango, America, Samoa. You are watching KVZK TV, Channel 2, Pango Pango, American Samoa.
Without the mothers, and then there's hatchling there.
A variety of species make up the colony of seabirds and the atoll. The great and lesser frigate bird, called Atoll in Samoan, are easily distinguished by their forked tail. The very large masked booby, which nests on the ground, is called a fu'o in Samoan. Another kind of fu'o, also prevalent, is the red-footed booby, the color of its feet being its distinguishing mark. The third type of booby or fu'o is the brown booby called fu'o manu'ula. The prevailing bird species on one side of the island are the sooty terns, which nest on the coral rubble on the ground, and the black and brown noddies, the ngongo in Samoan, which nest both in the trees and on the ground. The graceful white tern or manusina is also found, as well as the red-tailed tropic bird or tavaitoto, nesting near the roots of trees in the interior of the island, its long red-tailed feathers being its special feature. All these various seabirds are dependent on the sea for their food.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12.
The close human presence appeared to make the bird nervous, though it did not fly away.
Inga mai le mala wakula ngol fuo. Makulu e fafanga ai makulu uyo. Ia fuo ai masinga mai ni fango kai.
Foi mai. Ya, o se fianga le motu nei. Ono le tele o fingota. Tele o tuina manu ese o mai mai. E fai me alofa mai ai la tofa na o lo fa mulia tu nei le motu.
Following the successful eradication of introduced rats in 1992 by the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service and American Samoa's Department of Marine and Wildlife Resources, bird chicks born here are no longer eaten by these predators. The next management goal is to eradicate the ants, which not only harm the birds, but also support the scale insects that are damaging the Pisonia trees, a species that is declining worldwide and which once dominated Rose Island. The atoll is an important nesting site of green turtles. These depressions in the sand are the evidence of past nests. The adult female turtle comes ashore and lays about 100 eggs. In about 60 days, the babies hatch and make their way to the shore. Most are eaten by predators before they reach the open ocean. The few that do survive may swim to far-off islands, such as Fiji, to feed on seagrass. After some 20 to 30 years, the females return to their birthplace to dig a nest and lay eggs, and so the cycle repeats. After 6 hours at Muliava, It was time to head back home. The trip to Muriava has revitalized Manua's links to their atoll and stimulated new interest among the younger generation.
My sweet Rosato, everybody's trying to pollute the ocean. They think it's cool, but it's pollution. We got to talk about this right now because many people are destroying coral reef. Back to life with the fish and cut it down too much tree. But my sweet Rosato, my sweet Rosato, my sweet Rosato, ooh, yeah.
Ona fia ren ma na ia mole manu tele mon file tele fo yo fo mon wele o ta tia rungol nenu
o se tu ile mangu ni masi ngo foi anga halu malanga I ro se tu anga halu I ro anko fo mai manga I kilo mangu e mangu fifi
Fasana ai se si ni me ayo fai suama ana inale fasa fai fale.
The project of documenting Manua's oral histories and traditional uses of their atoll, which is known by three names, Muriava, Nu'omanu, and Rose, has illuminated the importance of the atoll to the people of Manua and Samoa as a whole. Perpetuating those traditions as a living heritage goes hand in hand with preserving the ecological health of the atoll and its surrounding waters.
Ya ol mea fo le elang fai ngoi ka kan nu awa le ang me nga mangwa ne ngo fo ni mot si vangai la ya som ang mo ma se no mai fang o ka ngol to le wa au le yi fang o kai.
For millennia, the people of Manua have had an important relationship with this atoll and its inhabitants, the birds and other life that reside here.
Oleh mana fewa ia manu i mana ma oleh tentu nung foi na manu ai ele ole motu ai ole motu
Olo ia pese al matou nu e whapea o te ngā lue i te tonu o matou nu. Ai o te ea e whai ala mau abe i eile o siusi o matai o na o mea tau tino e tau na pui pui ai tangata anu o manu.
The ancient name of the atoll is Muriama, meaning the end of a channel or pass. Another name is Nu'uamanu, the place or island of birds. The European name for the atoll is Rose, and since 1973 has been protected as a national wildlife refuge of the United States. This status only allows visitation under special permission through the U.S. federal government, which means for decades the people of Manua have not been able to travel freely to the island as they had in former years.
Whamarofa aftai, wa e fo wa leu tato mai nei fo nei taia o manisio whanau o loa o. E mo wai fo i la tau ia nisio tamari i o wa fo i o mua tede ia manisio wa fo i o nofo ato. Ina ia malama a tili ai le aunga ma leu tūtonu nei aso. Ina ia mawhai on talitonu le whaasauina o mea ola ma ia ma manu e se lo iai.
This video documents the historical, traditional, and cultural importance of Muniava to the people of Manua. It is a place that has supported the community's customary lifestyle for centuries. There are thousands of coral atolls in the Pacific, some smaller than others. Many of the larger ones have human inhabitants, such as this one in Yap, Micronesia. They are formed on coral reefs that has surrounded high volcanic islands, which over the millennia sunk back down below the sea, leaving the reefs behind to continue to grow into atolls. Rose Atoll is thus what remains of an ancient volcanic island. It lies at the eastern end of the Samoan archipelago, which, moving west, consists of Ta'u, Olosenga, Oofu, followed by Aunuu, Tutuila, Upolu, and Savai, with the smaller islands of Manono and Apolima lying between Upolu and Savai. These volcanic islands rise at roughly 13 degrees south of the equator and are politically divided between the independent state of Samoa in the west and the United States territory of American Samoa in the east. Rose Atoll lies 80 miles due east of Ta'u, the largest island. The total land area of Manua equals 51 square kilometers, the majority of which lies on steep slopes behind the coastal villages. The 2010 American Samoa census indicates that less than 1,200 people were living among the 5 counties and 8 villages that constitute the Manua district. American Samoa Department of Education supports 3 elementary schools and 1 high school in Manua to serve Manua's children. Those wishing to pursue higher education or employment opportunities not available in Manua must leave for Tutuila and beyond. This pattern has led to a dramatic decline in the local population. Air and ship transport between Tutuila and Manua are limited. Ferry service on the MV Sili is at best once per week. Air transport in small planes is also not reliable. Importing and exporting supplies is a challenge. This means that the people who remain in quieter and more tranquil Manua must enjoy a way of life more reliant on traditional food sources from the sea and land. Most people in Manua participate in fishing, and fish is an important component of the Manua diet. From a young age, most children in Manua learn how to fish.
O menga o pia o le whaloloa leo kama. O ngā kai whale. Kere ko i ngā whai. Whai o le maka. Whai whee. ia lili.
Ula, nopo, malau, funga laia.
Some forms of traditional salmon fishing have changed, as reported by one of Manua's fishermen.
Ia masalo o mātou sa ngata i le whaiva o le alafanga po le alonga atu. Salo o mātou le tausanga mulmul.
Meafua is the last of a generation to have used the va'alo, the traditional bonito trolling canoe, which today in American Samoa is relegated to the museum. The motorized modern Aliyah has now completely replaced it. Some traditional Manua fishing techniques are still being continued. For example, the use of the enu for the fishing of the asina, or goatfish, a technique involving this traditional fishing weir, and also the lawatule, the collective fishing of the seasonal mackerel under the direction of a chief fisherman called Matuo Tautai.
Era se mea se upenga po se mea fai ia kai. E fai mo le lau ma le kui. Ia vere o le au manga ave kai fai pai kai sam.
Using coconut leaves that have been tied together, the men encircle the school of fish that visit seasonally. The fish are corralled into a special giant woven basket, which is hauled onto the beach. The multitudes of fish are brought up to the land to be counted. After that, they are carefully distributed to all the members of the village under the supervision of the chiefs. Besides the sea, the land is also extremely important for many reasons. Saufusi, or wetlands, are important areas for planting crops in Manua. All families of a village own a portion of the Saufusi in which to grow taro. Breadfruit and green bananas are also important staples providing starch in the Samoan diet. These foods are usually cooked in the traditional Samoan oven together with other Samoan delicacies, such as palusami, made from young taro leaves and coconut cream. Manua is rich in legends of their ancient past. They were, according to Samoan legend, the first islands of Samoa that the ancient progenitor god Tangaloa Langi created, making them politically significant to Samoa.
Da motu nei, o motu uma o Tangaloa o ia lea sa fuafuaina I le atu Samoa. Ia te tonunga na o mātou ia I nei stiu taloina o motu Tangaloa motu.
One Manua oral tradition tells how Muriava was used as a refuge over a millennium ago. A couple from the village of Whangae on Ta'u Island were set adrift in a small boat as a punishment from their chief. After a few days, they were washed ashore onto Muriava. There, on Muriava, the woman, who had been pregnant at the time, gave birth to a son. The son grew up on the atoll listening to stories of his parents' cruel punishment and vowed to someday seek revenge on the offending chief in Ta'u. When he was grown, he built a boat and sailed to Ta'u, where he subdued the offending chief and became a great leader of the people. In fact, he became the great Tuimanua, a ruler whose prowess in war, as well as at boat building, resulted in his rule and honor extending to not only all of Samoa, but also to many other islands of Polynesia. The Manua Islands became known as Motusa, the Sacred Islands.
O malai tele le ta ua le tele o malai o tofinga. O ilana e ta ua le fale ula o le tui Manua.
Ia
ya le fungai maale ole fungai kupu mo kui mangu ya ngol maale le faali mai au ka kui ole le vai
Manua's oral traditions also have repeated references to Mudiava. According to one legend, Tatui Manua had a malai or meeting place on the ocean, halfway between Ta'u and Muliava.
Foi le tulia. Lo yen malai Tatui Manua foi le Ta'u o malai o pupe.
It was at this malai on the ocean where he would meet with visitors from other island groups. Manua tradition also speaks of the Tui Manua taking special trips to Muliava for rest.
Ngai lako whainga whaiva i aso umawai. Ia ma malolo ai. Ia ma koe fo ia kua malu ile ku malola.
Here, the importance of Matasaua, the easternmost point of Ta'u, should be noted. It is directly west of Mudiava and is the reference point for traveling to and from the atoll. While the ancient name Mudiava is more commonly used on Ta'u, many people of Ofu and Olsenga refer to the atoll as Nu'uomanu.
Na whaingo o le Nu'uomanu po le motu manu. Ia ai o inae o whanga uma i ai manu o le lalolangi.
O le ngoa sao le moku ia o le Nu'uomanu.
O le ngoa e whanonga ia o ingai koe inga fo o maliu o Nu'uomanu.
The name Nu'uomanu, meaning residence or territory of birds, denotes the ecological significance of the atoll to the people of Manua as the hatching ground for a variety of South Pacific seabirds. Various species traditionally assisted Samoans in predicting the weather, in navigation and in finding schools of fish. The atoll's European name, rose, is explained in several ways. One derives from the extraordinary pink color of the abundant coralline algae that grows on much of Rose Atoll's coral reefs. More historically related explanations also exist. The explorer named the atoll after his wife Rose, who was accompanying him on his around-the-world voyage. Yet another version attributes the name to the daughter of a man of mixed heritage who came from Apia to Ta'u in the mid-1800s.
Sa malanga mai le nei manua ya ona pai people le tin manu ile na fino tu manua e fulano na fine no e mo ya ro la e pe fa mo mato ai.
Ile afe iwa se lau tausanga sa fio ele fionga tu manua ile nu'o Muliava ma ave ia ile fuwa e tu wai luma fa mauni ai o le nu'o manu tele ai le o le afe iwa se lau o fa piona isa ini ai le fengainga malo tele
Mao ina tonu fo ina sisi ai le ua i fu an motu sani.
When Tui Manua Elisara signed the deed of cession in 1904, the atoll, belonging to Great Manua, also became part of the U.S. territory of American Samoa. Later, in 1941, at the beginning of World War II, U.S. President Franklin Roosevelt designated Rose Atoll a Navy defense area, but it was never used for that purpose. In 1973, the atoll was established as a national wildlife refuge through cooperative agreement between the American Samoa government and the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service. The refuge encompasses everything inside the red line, which outlines Muliava's reef in this aerial photo. Its two islets, Rose Island and the barren Sand Island, comprise 20 acres. The lagoon, 1,600 acres. Closure to the public is designed to protect the fragile ecosystems of the atoll. Permission of visitation must be obtained from the Office of Rose Atoll National Wildlife Refuge in Pago Pago. Despite this protection, a Taiwanese longliner tuna fishing boat ran and its marine organisms on which the birds are also reliant. The waters were contaminated with thousands of gallons of diesel and lube oil. Decomposition of the iron hull in the water led to an outbreak of harmful algae which killed the coral. The reef is now recovering thanks to efforts from the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service and the American Samoa Department of Marine and Wildlife Resources to remove the 200. Given that the people of Manua seldom have the opportunity to visit Muriava, a special trip was organized on board the MV Sili, American Samoa's ferry boat. Early Saturday morning, March 26, 2011, the ferry headed out from Pangupangu Harbor in Tutuila. The trip's purpose was to afford the opportunity for people of Manua to visit the atoll and experience it firsthand after so many years of only hearing about it from their elders.
Oli taimi ni lo mato yai pe lungo ba. Te po il mana yo nei fai nga malanga. Lo mato fai malanga mai ai. To tele la wa tangat. O e fo yo lo fai malanga mai yo atu no man. E asi ya. Yo ni fo yo pa sese yo atu yo fu. Ta u
in addition to people of Manua, also on board were members of federal and local government agencies. These agencies are now attempting to increase inclusion of Manua in planning processes with regards to the atoll. This trip is seen as part of that effort. It was an 8-hour ride from Tutuila to Ofu, where a meeting was held with local members of the villages to help stimulate dialogue and sharing of concerns.
In the
proclamation that established the monument, it specifically said that commercial fishing was to be prohibited throughout the whole monument, so all the way out to 50 miles. So that's being done.
O ia yo kako makua yaso unu vai manako discuss inga le motu le nei. Eu ia lainga ku fa kasi kako makukui. Ya ele sha ye fai al moko mangu ia ko aku mun muli. King kui mangu.
I think before I was kind of leery too. So pole afo ingena. But when I look at the program it's set up, I think it's to our benefit. Manguio got go mangu. Because right now in Luacaco, we don't have commercial fishing boats. So I think this protection it protects us from the commercial fishermen that will come and take some of this without regard to conservation.
There are a lot of foreign vessels that are encroaching into local and federal waters without any monitoring and enforcement. One of the objectives here is really to monitor and control. Whatever we do, Manua will be at the forefront. In terms of the decision making, in terms of consultation, representing the American Samoa government, it will be Manua.
Residents throughout Manua were also interviewed about their concerns.
Po ai foi ni e oni tamali po ai lava ele ai ele fono ele tasil fina ngalo manu tele ina ia avatu fa pene ia mato mesi.
The trip continued to Ta'u, where more people boarded for the voyage to the atoll. One schoolgirl expressed her excitement about going on the trip.
It's an experience me for my Rose Island.
The next morning, after sailing through the night, the MV Sili arrived offshore from the atoll, an exciting sight for all to see. The ship's small boats were offloaded for people to be ferried to the shore. All refuge policies were followed to ensure against the unintended introductions of any organisms or insects that could negatively impact the atoll's ecology.
fifianga ma na whai ona sa ilu talu e o mai tono nei. Nuu stasio o nuu sa iaitu ao ma nuu yaso umawai.
On shore, everyone had a wonderful day of learning about and experiencing the atoll from both above and below the waterline. The lagoon is teeming with fish and giant clams, the faisua, a traditional Samoan delicacy.
Ole faisua ole fe'e ia maltele au isi I tu ai ngā whaiva. Ole tala lea to ina mātua, ole nei tu malo. Ia o whaiva nā e masani ona o iai. Ma sa tau nuu wai fo I Muriava.
They used to travel to Muriava to do this type of fishing called lepanga. I remember very vividly that one of the lepanga came and the boat is almost sick. It's full of fish, especially the shark.
Tu iai le popo o niu o me uma whapena whatasi ma le mauno le panga.
Muriava was also a turnaround and resting point when Manua fishermen went on their long-distance bonito fishing trips.
Talala ia whapeo I nei malolo mai ai. Beo se mapsanga fo I nei whaiala to walwhanga o na mapumaile I nei.
While fish, clams, and coral proliferate in the lagoon, above the waterline, it is birds that dominate. Here is where many of American Samoan seabirds hatch, either in nests in the trees or underground.
So right now I'm seeing a lot of eggs.
Talofa, olo e mai mo mai le tautua le ala talua le KVZK TV, Pango Pango, America, Samoa. You are watching KVZK TV, Channel 2, Pango Pango, American Samoa.
Lapa taia le mamalo le atunu e tusa ma le whaamai o le dengue fever. E le I whaamali e ine whaamatalanga e tusa ma le kona karate a le sungat komesina o le office au palota. Tula e sua mai timi e tali ona molianga I lumo le whaamsinonga whai tu malo. Whātalo whātua America Samoa e ala inisi o whaupopongo tala mai lau KVZK TV ma lo soifua maua malilangi e mama. Ua iai nei se whaalinga mai le matanga luenga o soifua ma loloina mo le atunuu e tusai ma se whautuanga I le whaamai o le dengue fever mai le lolo wa o le tau sa whea ngai ma le atunuu I le vaiaso o tea. O le whaamoe moe le matanga luenga ina ia fo ia le tau tonga fitia I se taimi mulimuli o le tau longolongo e tupu ai manatu le lei, o le tanga I mamao le matanga luenga ona o le malo losi o wanga masavili le vaiaso o tea, mai mawhai ona ola ai le namu ona ono fuanga susu. E a ona whaatino a wala e whaititi ai le awhia le nei whaamai, e pe o le sasaa o sua vai o lo o toa I tutono apa mai si la pisi, whaamamau tau tai whaingo fie le namu ona ola ai, suia whai tutoa ma whaamalama waia o whaalenga ina, whao ngā whangu whaasiseni namu, ma la e ina lava lima uumi e pui ai le tino mai le namu, e tolu le sifuru wha aso whaato awa aia a ungo le wha mai o le denki, mai se tasi wa a fia nei, o fōlinga wa aia o le nei wha mai e au fia i le whima, ti ngā tutui o le ulu, ti ngā tutonu o mata ma so ongo iwi, ma le piliki se I tulou, o loo whautua ina le matanga luenga le mamalo le atunuu, ina ia whaafeso ta I se tasi o la to ofisa, Pe a whai walanga naina a aunga e pe o na tuina atu nei. Nunu yasu lelei mai lau KVZK News. Ua tolo poina nei le ilo ilonga le senate o le sunga le komisina le tūmau ia Dr. Uyanga Lelei le alofi se ia ato atoa whamatalanga e tusa malana kone karate. O le whaiunga na tuina atu le senate le sunga le fumai a Uyanga Lelei le alofi o na ile imanino le tūlanga o lo iai nei lana kone karate sanga lue ai i le nofua inga le afionga le manu ma la pui umawai nei. Sa fisilingia le afionga ia tongi ola tula fono le tūlanga o le kone karate le sunga ia Uyanga Lelei ina ne ifete ina ima le tōwhinga fōu a le afionga i le kovana ia Pulali.
Ia tula, po ua whaamuta i le kovana lau i lau konkalate lea nea iai e umai lau termi le lua a whelua sifuru ma le ono.
Lau fionga kong yola e kaumwhaia e kai aku skulanga mangingo ma shofo i loa wae o ke lua uli kula fongo la e o ke kalkongwa uole konkalaki e kwa umai ai i lua sifuru fuongo ia e peka iange o makangonge ima le fionga le kovanga ia peka umai ai ua le a koe amaka uile i langa ngofua inga me whapenga o le langonga ngai a kia ua amaingei ia lewa o mai e whailiwhinga ngā lor kovanga ia saimal confirmation ia i a kongo e fōi i langa ia ko whae inga ia koe a makai lale ia le ofiso o paloka male komisinga i lalo o langa ia ka inga o la ukala kaumwhai aku ngai e kau kali aku aia lau whawhisiri kongiola.
Sa tau mawhai atu le afionga i a tongiola tu la fono ina ia manino le tūlanga o le esenga o le kone karate ma le toi tōwhia o Uyanga Lelei a vea makomisina o le ofisa o Pālota o se tasi o whaamamafa o lona finangalo ina ia tu e se matuto o tasi le komisina o Pālota mai tōwhinga whaapolokiki ina ia fo ia le whaaitu au.
E le whaalongo. Leanga ia olmela le la tupu. A whainei ai whaamaonia le tōwhinga fōu lea. A olai lava e lei ave e sealau konkalate to a umene lua whelua sifuru ma le ono. O lona winga i lalo tu la fono wha konkalate. O te tau le malona tu tongi a tōlau konkalate a walela ave ese o whaale au ngā ina i le pule wha kovana. A lela whailau tō whinga fōu. O lona winga e te tau na tu tongi a tōlau konkalate le vaenga le tu tōlau konkalate. Leanga o le tūlanga na o le tūla fono ua whaamuta whaanati le i le konkalate. Ai le o maria o iai, in melana ofisi le tuai pena e maria i le tūlanga lea. Po o whaamuta lau konkalate pe le ai. E le mawhaila le maota ona whaamao ni o lau tō whinga. Pe a whai o lai lava e tau o lau konkalate. Langa o le awhite na i me rua. O le tō whinga whaaporkiki ma le konkalate. E whatoa umane tau sanga pe o le angangal nasa iai. E tele ngā luenga le ofisa pe a tuana i le Pālota. E te tau wala i le afo i le taitai o le ofisa ona tūmau pea se i mai a le leita penanga o Pālotanga u tuana ai i ana to a whaida o le sisuinga fōu mo le tofi lea. Ai a whaida o le tūlanga lea pe on e saunua. E te le o iloa po le alme o tupu i lau konkalate. Ia le alala mātou nofo atu matau mate po le mea o le a ese lau tō whinga whapurikiki ese lau konkalate whaale ngā luanga. Ia, ona mau ai leo le white na i le vālea, e le aise mea al maota mwhai ana whai. E le te tau whaina mātou Pālota i lau tō whinga whaulea, ai le i au mai se whaamaoninga wa umalo konkalaki.
Ua tolo pōina le nei mata upu se ia maua uma mai whaamatalanga, matūlanga te tau wai e tusa makone karate a le o tue tōwhia nei, e taita ia le ofisa o Pālotanga le atanu. Nunu yaso le lei, mai lau KVZK News. Ia tātou tala mai le whaamsinonga, sa tu lai le sunga ia sui mai time i le whaamsinonga whaitu malo, e tali i ona molianga o le talepe fale i le ofisa o whaatoanga, ma se tasi o maote tutono o le alalawhanga inu uli. I tutono le reporti mai le whaamsinonga e whaapea, o le masino Januari o le tausanga nei, sa ulu fale ai le sunga ia time i se tasi o fale inu uli, ma ave sia mai e se atutupe, o se mama whaipoipo, o se telefoni, o le ili, sa mala, o se spika manisi o mea whainga luenga, e tolu afe tā la le whaatupeina o nei mea tō tino sa ave sia mai lea no fuanga. Sa mawhai o na maua e leo le sunga ia time, e ala ina ua vaai e se tasi o le ainga, le no fuanga o lo iai le sipika e ala i se whailo, e se fulu lima afe tā la, mua whaatonuina e tutongina e tala i tua, e ta lia i aso lo na whamasinonga, i ona molianga o le talepe fale tūlanga lua, ngā oi ma le soli tua oi. Ia tātou tala mai a pia, o lo whaanga solo nei whaatala tala noanga a le pūlenga o malaiva alele a Samoa, ma le mamalu lau tele o le atu nuu, e tusa ai masuinga o le aiai, e peo la fonga tutongi le malaiva alele e la tō e tuwa ese mai Samoa. O le vai aso na te nei sa whai e se whaatasinga le pūlenga malaiva alele manisi o sui o le atu nuu, ina ia maal malama le atu nuu i whaopopongo tupe tutongi le malaiva alele e i la tō e malanga ese mai le atu nuu, mai le onos fulima tā la Samoa sa maasani on tutongi le tangata malanga i le siitanga o le aiai e se lau tā la Samoa, o le aiai fo i le siitanga o le lima tā la sa maasani on tutongi mo se tasi o tupe tutongi mo le valele, ma le sefulu tā la o iei nei mo avanoa e pakai ta avale. E se lau tolu sefulu tā la Samoa le au whae e whaopopo i mea tutongi le tangata malanga pe a o atu i le malaiva alele. Nunu yasu le nei mai lau KVZK News. O tātou tala mai le Pasifika le nei e fiafi, o atu ina atu se oka i le ofisa o leo a fiti, mai le whaamasinonga ina ia susunuina ai ni fuala au whaasaina o le aisa, sa maua i leo i la tau o sofainga, i totono se no fuanga tu ufua i nadi, i le amatanga o le tausanga o mawai atu nei, e valu se lauta ma i pusa, o loo iai aisa ma e 2 piliona tā la i le tupe fiti, a e valu se lau miliona tā la i le tupe Amerika pe a whaatupe ina, o le nei a wala ua whaatonuina ai e le whaamsinonga le matanga luenga o leo, o se tasio a wala, o loo whaia isi atu nuu ina ia whaatama i ai fuala au whaasaina sa maua mai suesu e ngā leo, ina ia mauti noa le toi o atu i fafo i le mamalu le lautele, o le fuafuanga tele o le angalulu e whaatasi ai, le ofisa leo a fiti, ma le matanga luenga o le soifua maloloina, o ofisa o le puipuinga o le sio seo manga, na nisi o sui mai matanga luenga o le puipuinga, o le saunga le mula o tele mai atunu e peo ni usila ma Australia. Usi mai a lau whaafunga anga malau mai moa, ini se o tala mo le tau, ma le tai mo Amerika Samoa. O le awhaia se whaatalatala noanga whalawa i tele a le senate, manise o sui o le atunu o lo ofia moli mau, e tusa mapili tau whaofi, tolu iwa, wha, ma le tolu iwa, 5, e whaatatau i le palo te ino tō whinga o le kovana ma le sui kovana Amerika Samoa. Whapea nisi o whaapoponga i anga waao i lātou o le atau wamo nei tō whinga le atunuu o le awhaia lea whaamoemoe le aso luas fuluono le mātina nei i le afo le valu i le tae ao i le maoto le senate i whangatongo. I se ngā luenga tu whaatasi ai le ofisa o le ARPA Oversight, ma ta ngā luenga o ngā luenga lautele ma le whale tupeo ati inae, e wala au lia ili mamalu le atunu o lo iai anga waa ma lai sene ka muta i se whaatasinga i le aso lima o le mātina o mati o le tausanga nei, i le afo le wha i le awauli se ia pā ia le afo le ono i le afiafi, e whaia lea whaatasinga i le whale lau mei i utulei. Amerika Samoa o nisi nā o whapopongo tala i le nea fiafi mai lau KVZK TV, whaafitai tere le whaatasi mai, tō wha seifua. Dengue fever alert by the American Samoa Department of Health. Senate rescheduled Dr. Uyangalilei's confirmation due to insufficient contract information. A man appears in court concerning involvement in burglary case. Tala Falava, American Samoa, and welcome to your evening news here on KVZK TV. The Department of Health has issued a dengue fever alert in response to the recent heavy rainfall and changing weather patterns, contributing to increased standing water, a breeding ground for mosquitoes.
In an official statement, the Department of Health emphasized that proactive measures are critical, as it is often said that prevention is better than cure. The recent heavy rains create ideal conditions for mosquito populations to thrive, increasing the risk of mosquito-borne illness like dengue fever. The Department of Health strongly urges the community to take preventative actions to safeguard public health, such as ensuring that water is removed from areas where it can accumulate, such as buckets, tires, and containers left outside. Regularly clean up debris and refuse that can trap rainwater, providing mosquito larva habitat. Install and repair home window screens to prevent mosquitoes from entering living spaces. And use EPA-approved insect repellents on exposed skin to deter mosquito bites, as well as wearing long-sleeve shirts and long pants, especially during peak mosquito activity, which occurs typically in the early morning and late afternoon. According to the Department of Health, dengue fever is a viral illness transmitted by mosquitoes. It is common in tropical and subtropical regions around the world. While many infections are asymptomatic, individuals who do experience symptoms may notice them appearing between 3 to 14 days following exposure. Common symptoms include high fever, severe headache, pain behind the eyes, joint and muscle pain, rash, and mild bleeding. Currently, confirmed outbreaks of dengue fever have been reported in Fiji and Tonga, highlighting the urgent need for heightened awareness and community action to reduce the risk of infection. The Department of Health monitors the situation closely and encourages everyone to stay informed and vigilant during this period. Joyeta Whangai Mali'i with your news on KVZK.
The Senate has postponed the confirmation hearing on the nomination of the acting election commissioner, Dr. Uyangalele Lealofi, seeking his current employment contract documents.
The Senate has postponed the confirmation hearing for the election commissioner following a request for a copy of his employment contract endorsed by the prior administration. In the confirmation hearing conducted on Friday before the Senate Rules Committee, Uyangalele stated that his contract with the previous administration remains valid until January 2026. However, his recent appointment by Governor Pulali'i Nicolau Pula establishes a new term for him as election commissioner, which became effective on the 7th of February. Senator Tongiola Tulafono pointed out that the election commissioner position is distinct from other cabinet roles. He emphasized that the term of the election commissioner coincides with gubernatorial elections, underscoring the necessity of maintaining the office's independence from political influences. Tongiola highlighted that this independence is essential for ensuring impartiality in the electoral process. When Senator Tongiola inquired whether Uyangalele's previous contract has been officially terminated, Uyangalele refrained from providing a definitive answer. Instead, he indicated that the discussions with Governor Pulali'i confirmed his appointment to a new term under the current administration. Tongiola further questioned whether Uyangalele had consented to the termination of his prior contract, stressing that if it had been concluded without his approval or without just cause, the government would be obliged to compensate him for the remaining duration of the contract. He reiterated the importance of preserving the independence of the election commissioner's office to maintain its credibility. Tongiola then requested Uyangalele to produce a copy of the contract he signed with the former administration. This documentation is critical for assessing the legitimacy of the transition and the new appointment. Senate President Tua'olo Manaya-Fruen asked Uyangalele to clarify whether he had resigned from his position, and Uyangalele said no. The Senate President then asked Uyangalele if he had received any financial settlement similar to those received by other political appointees from the previous administration. Uyangalele confirmed receiving $17,000 for unused leave, indicating a financial settlement during the transition. Furthermore, the Senate President inquired about the potential establishment of a voting process for the Swains delegate, particularly in light of the recently granted voting rights in the Fono. He advised Uyangalele to seek legal counsel to ensure that a clear and appropriate process is developed before the upcoming mid-elections next year, thereby empowering the Swains delegate to exercise their newly granted rights. Senator Tuanaitau Malaki Tongiola supported the sentiments by Tua'olo, highlighting the importance of developing a structured voting process for the Swains delegate. He further emphasized the significance of their involvement in selecting the Swains delegate, asserting that the right to vote in their districts is essential for democratic engagement. Vice President of the Senate, Mangalei Longvi'i Mangalei, who's also the chairman of the Senate Rules Committee, reiterated his request to Uyangalele to submit a copy of his previous employment contract. Joyeta Whangai Mali'i with your news on KVZK.
In our court news, a man appeared in the district court concerning a burglary case. Sui Maitime is charged with breaking into the agriculture office and a residence in Nu'uli.
A criminal complaint was lodged against Sui Maitime in relation to an alleged burglary that occurred in January at a residence in Nu'uli. This incident took place while the homeowners were away from their property, and upon their return, they discovered that the back door had been unlawfully accessed. Upon reviewing the security footage from their residence, the homeowner observed an identified individual present around their property during their absence. Court documents indicate that the defendant allegedly appropriated several items of significant value, including a wedding ring, a Michael Kors purse, a smartphone, a skill saw, a hammer, a wireless speaker, car jumper, a wood saw, and a power drill, collectively valued at approximately $3,000. The investigation progressed when one of the victims identified a man in possession of their Bluetooth speaker and reported this to the police authorities. During the investigation, the individual informed law enforcement that he had purchased a speaker from the defendants. This lead enabled police to locate the defendants for further questioning. Reports indicate that during the interrogation, the defendants allegedly confessed to breaking into the residence. He faces several charges, including second-degree burglary, 2 counts of theft, and trespassing. The district court set bail at $15,000 for the defendants in this matter. Joyetta Fengai with your news on KVZK.
The much-anticipated Rotary Club's annual raffle and golf tournament proceeded last Saturday. The main sponsor for the event was the GHC Reed in collaboration with other businesses on the island. It's been more than 30 years since the club initiated this first fundraiser, with all of the monies collected from this event being distributed to support their community services. One of the service projects these fundraisers support among the many groups on the island is their donation to the Shriners Children's Hospital. Their service to the American Samoa community throughout the years continues to be a testimony and reflects the mission of the Rotary Club of Paopao. In our news from Apia, travelers out of Samoa will be expecting to pay 130 tala more for air travel once the proposed departure tax and aviation security fee increases by the Samoa Airport Authority are approved.
Last week, the Samoa Airport Authority held public consultations regarding proposed increase in several fees at the airport, including the departure tax, aviation security fee, and parking fees, as well as new VIP terminal charges. The departure tax is set to increase from 65 tala to 100 tala, and the aviation security fee will rise from 5 tala to 100 tala. The parking fee has already been increased to 10 tala, and other fee adjustments will follow soon. Once confirmed, an additional 130 tala will be added to the airline fares as both the departure tax and security fees are added on top of ticket prices. Currently, the departure tax stands at 65 tala, and the aviation security fee is 5 tala. The Chief Executive Officer, Tumanvao Evile Falefatu, of the Airport Authority defended these increases by referencing the 2002 Airport Authority Act. He stated that they were necessary for change and to help develop the airport infrastructure in accordance with countries like New Zealand. He further noted that these adjustments are mandatory. When asked why the announcements regarding the parking fee occurred before any public consultation took place, Tumanwao explained that prior consultation was not legally required. They can waive fees at any time without public consultation, according to the law. If they comply with the law, there is no need for them to go through consultation with the public. Despite the CEO's justification, the announcement has sparked significant discussion among the public. Many attendees expressed frustration over the rising costs, particularly the substantial increase in the departure tax, which could impact the affordability of air travel for many Samoans. The steep hikes in parking and security fees have also raised concerns among frequent flyers and airport-related businesses. There was also a suggestion that travelers might have to say goodbye to their loved ones outside the airport terminal to avoid paying the rising fees. With parking charges and VIP access at an all-time high, many fear that simply entering the airport will become financially burdensome. No date has been provided for when the new charges will take effect. Joyetta Fengai Mali'i with your news on KVZK.
And finally, in our news for tonight from the region, Fiji police will be vaporizing more than 4 tons of methamphetamine seized during one of the biggest drug busts in the country this week, in the tune of 2 billion Fijian dollars, or $800 million US.
In late January last year, Fijian authorities conducted a significant operation at a vacant house under construction in Nadi, uncovering approximately 800 medium-sized containers wrapped in brown tape. These containers were found to contain methamphetamine, known as ice, with an estimated street value of 2 billion Fijian dollars. Consequently, 15 individuals were charged with drug trafficking and are currently out on bail pending legal proceedings. Assistant Police Chief Mesake Waka provided details about the destruction process, which is being carried out under a high court order issued last year. The methamphetamine will be disposed of using a vaporization method in a furnace, a recognized procedure globally for safely eliminating large quantities of illegal drugs. According to Radio New Zealand, this process will take place at Dignified Crematorium, approximately 15 minutes from Suva. Waka emphasized that the destruction process was planned with extensive stakeholder consultations to ensure adherence to best practices, including health and environmental considerations. He assured the public of transparency, stating that legal counsel for the respondents would be permitted to observe the process. Subsequently, a detailed report will be made public to uphold accountability. Stakeholders involved include the Ministry of Justice, the Ministry of Policing, the Ministry of Health and Medical Services, Environment, the Fiji Military Forces, the Office of Director of Public Prosecutions, and law enforcement agencies from Australia and New Zealand, among others. This operation highlights a unified response to combat drug trafficking in Fiji. Joyeta Fiangai Mali'i reporting for KVZK.
Please stay tuned for your weather and tide report.
Talafalava, American Samoa. The Senate will be holding a public hearing for Senate Bill number 3904 and 3905 on Wednesday, February 26th at 8:30 a.m. at the Fono Senate Chamber, Whangatongo, American Samoa. Senate Bill number 3904 is a bill for an act entitled, An Act Amending the Law to Allow for Separate Election Races of the Governor and Lieutenant Governor, amending sections 4.0103 and 4.0104 of the American Samoa Code Annotated. And Senate Bill number 3905 is a bill for an act entitled, An Act Amending the Qualifications of Candidates Running for the Offices of Governor and Lieutenant Governor, amending sections 4.0102 of the American Samoa Code Annotated. If you wish to testify or make a public statement on either one of these bills, you can sign up the morning of February 26th at the Fono Senate Chamber, or you can submit your commentary through the Senate website at www.asfono.gov, where you can fill out the online form and submit. Respectfully, dress code will be enforced. Gentlemen, tie and iawhaitanga, and women, pulatasi or dress. For any further questions, please call the Office of the Senate President at 633-5866 or 633-4565. Male fa'alo alulava fa'afetai.
In partnership with the Governor's ARPA Oversight Office and the Department of Public Works, the Development Bank of American Samoa will hold the Homeowner and Tradesman Networking Mixer Seminar on March 5th, 2025 at 4:30 p.m. to 6:30 p.m. at the Lee Auditorium in Utulei. There you have it, American Samoa, the conclusion of tonight's edition of your KVZK TV News. Thanks for joining us. Good night.
Talofa, olo e mai mo mai le tautua le ala talua le KVZK TV, Pango America Samoa. You are watching KVZK TV Channel 2, Pango American Samoa.
O le afio anga o ua, o se tasi o nuu ua lewa fo'i I whaanga tama I le tai, mai tausanga ua mawai atu. O le manu lauti o le nuu, ia tasi le loto, tasi le anganga, o na whaingo fie lea o le wha moe moe o lo oloma nei, I tu unga fautasi o le nei tausanga, lua afe lua sfulfa.
Mamadu sursau soli I le makua ya ni ufau o kama le iku maltangaka a fio di o ko o le fekalai ngai a pau ai lua mo ufanga le mauna bana mo sai lua
lo ingoa o Vasai stand Vasai o se kasi foi o makai kongo se o makongu ia o le kulanga le wa ia ngele ngai foi kausanga ia ua ko fia foi lo ngai fakauwa po lo ngai kangaka ia e makoki o mai e langolongo sua le fa moe moe le o ngai ku faanga kamari kaile e mea ua lafo iaile makongu ole ko langol va al makongu ia ku fi au malau manga ia le fo wa ko fia ngisi o ko kingo makua ia mai se fo ngisi o makai o langusa lua ia e o mai o pongi ma lango le fa moe moe mo ngai kausanga.
O le sā o le paipai o lupo'o o loo iai nei a le afioanga o aua. Na fausia I le sefulu tausanga taluai. Mai ese fo'i le mataina lona fausanga. Mai le tele o fautasi o isinuu. I tausanga ua mawae. Sa awai ai lava le afioanga o ua. I whainga mea I le tai. I le vaitaimi a au ingoa le lato sā mōmua o le tanifa o le whangaloa.
O au o launi sa lua o voloti mali o toa. Ia o singa tala anga ole nei foi a fio anga ile nei lava talonga ole tu nga fautas o awele se lu fou ile talonga ele fou ile mato lu talonga le nei ole tu nga fautas na ia ile fautas mo tu luma sa fa swa faina e te mao nei nuu o le tanifa o le whangaloa. Ia, nā vai temi o le fitu se fulu a ngai mai le a matanga o le valu se fulu. Ia, ona era le temi na alu ai lea o le toi ai se vaa le afioanga. Ia, ona o le telefo o tama whanau o le nuu sa ia ia vai temi ia ua wa nga ia tu fafu sa ilinga fo io lumanai e peta iani o le tausanga a feiva se lau iva se fulu maleono ia o le tausanga le no toe la nga I fo I le finangalo le afia anga ua ia mo sona sa fo le ala na ia I le pai urpo mo mua ia ile na vai tau ia finangalo fo te mau le ninu ia wasui le fai ngoa ina o le sa o le afioanga mai tanifa o le whangaloa ia mananto ave le ngoa malai o le matou nuu ia o pai o le po'o ma pai ala ia peo nei ei le sarunga lua le nei vai tau mai le tausanga ia afe iwa se lau iwa se fulu maleono se iyo o le tausanga lua afe se fulu maltolu na finangalo I loa le afioanga mo sana sarunga lua ia e peo nei ei le vaa lea o loo iei nei o le pai o le po'o lua ia e le tau whaamatala fo'i ia le tūlanga na sai ai ia tau mawhainga a le nei a whioanga. Nei nuu i whaanga tama o le tai a wā lava le whaamanatuino o le asa soifua tutuila manua. Ia a e peitai o le nei vai tau le sa fou le alo iei nei. Ia e se fo'i le mauolunga ma le anga i luma o le taalonga i tonu o le nuu. Ia o le nei lava taalonga e pe o le taalonga le nei o lo whai maawala e so tai ai ia a nofo whialo whani lea o tupulanga talavou e meise le whanau o a whioanga.
O le whautasi le nei a le paepae lupo'o, walau i lua fo'i, i nisi o tausanga wa tea, sa siampini fo'i i tuunga whautasi. I le saunoanga le tō whaa i a lau niu sailua, ua atoa le lua masina, talu ona a matalia to le ninga, matamo enga ale au waa. Ona o le whaanga tama i le tai, e le mama i le awhioanga. E tau sisi le paepae o lupo'o, i le tali sununga e whai ma le loto atoa. E sā o na tongi fo i le moa ai ulo na afa, e peo le upu, e tongi atoa, ma e tuu atoa i le loto ma le anganga, i tā pena penanga a le au waa. E lata i le 5 i a tama whanau o aua, o lo o aloa le paepae o lupo'o, ma e wha amata whai ngofie i le silasila, ai tele se taimi e tau wao ai, ai maise i la tou ele i alo mua, o le isi i tu whangatā o le soa tele o le au waa, o le mea lea e whaalangolango ai le kapiteni i le whaili, e whaatonu ai le sao o le whautasi, ai maise o le suingo apefoe i le taimi a o alu le tuonga.
Le moetasi o le au waa ua atoa le vaiaso ma le afa. E le i atoa le lei o na loka le au waa. Mātou tele i o lava le teme loka i le au waa. Whato a loka le au waa pe a whaape toi lua vaiaso o na soola e ma le vaiaso le tuunga. A le teme le lei, ia o lea o moetasi le au waa. Ia e tau na whaamao popo ai le whaamalo istino ma le toleni i le tai au. Ai wa atoa nei le vaiaso ma le afa. Whaamoe la i le nei tausanga. Ia, ua atoa le lua masina talu na toleni ia matapena le awhionga waua. O le awhionga iau taife au malana au manga. Ia o loo tūtasi ai le whaamoe o le awhionga waua. E nā te taitaina ia ma whaataunuina le whaamoe. Ia ai o nisi o matai o le mātou nuu peo na e whitalinga i awasai. Ia manisi fo i matai o loo tau mawhai e whaamao popo le komiti. Ia wā lava le whaamoe le nei o aua. Teimi nei peo na awhai atu mo lua masina taluna te pena le au waa. O le au waa fo i o aua ua nga ilunga le iwa se 10%.
I le tū i tole ninga, o le awhioanga o aua e whaamoe lava tamoenga a le au waa i le mawha. Ona e moomia ai lava, le lava o le mānawa ma le mālosi e alo ai le latou sā. O le tū lea e whaalia ai le anganga whaftai, a le tō wha i alau niu sailua. O le nei au waa e whaamoe lava i ana tama whanau, mai o mai le taimi ina poe ai le nei pukalama, o tole ninga e whai umai le waweao, mai pei ona sila, o lo o whaia umata penanga a e le o mapu ai le langulangu a nisi o tama matutua o le awhioanga.
Le malosi i lana tole ninga, ia atoa ai ma le manawa. Ia ua manatu fo'i le nei nuu. Ia, o e mātou tapenanga i le se tapenanga whaingofie. Mai e whaia pēa le whaiva tuninga atu o le awhionga o aua. E le tongi le moa te uu le afa. E tongi atoa lava. Awa e le whaingofie le whaamoe tuila manua le sisi mapua. Ia il tapenanga le mātou nuu teme nei. Ia ai o se tala na e tusai fo'i ma le whaatasili le tapenanga ia me se fo'i le talaanga mai o le sale ni o le pai o le po.
Yeah, once again, our boys in the hood, AUA, Aua. I mean, we in Alaska, but Aua is what I call home, you know? We left the hood, but the hood never left us. Aua forever, let's get it, yeah! Yeah, that's my ooh, yeah. I said that's my ooh, yeah. I said that's my ooh, yeah. I'm a strap. We in Alaska, what I was, what I call. Yeah, that's my ooh, yeah. I said that's my ooh, yeah. What I call. That's my ooh, yeah. On the map, 3 corner did that. Now past the fame, all my boys want a piece of that. Our boys, I am heir to the throne. I'ma go real hard like bad to the bone. Security, I keep a lookout for my own. With the haters, I delete them like numbers on my phone. Now it's on, I do my thing on my own. Lulu by my side so I never feel alone. I still shine if you ain't call me the dawn. I stay homicide, more printed on my arm. Tattoo on my neck means I love you, mom. Call Louis up, tats on my forearm. I know the game well, like most definite. It's a new me, like the New Testament. Mount View, North Cleveland, that's my resident. I do it for the people, call me the president. Yeah, that's my ooh, yeah. I said that's my ooh, yeah. I said that's my ooh, yeah. I'm a strap. We in Alaska, what I was, what I call. Yeah, that's my ooh, we in Alaska, what I was, what I call. That's my ooh, we in Alaska, what I was, what I call. That's my ooh, we in Alaska, what I was, what I call. Walking in your hood with my head to the sky, got my bare knuckles up. If you haters wanna try, sipping H2O5, feeling right tonight. All my usos throw it up, cause you know we aiming high. DOC be the name, coming straight from the A. I be up in that ring, knocking haters off the track. AUA's where I stay, now we in the AK. We them boys from the start, best believe who we are. Disrespecting the crew, best believe it's on you. We knocking at your door, hope you ready for war. Ain't no 945s, we got knuckles galore. Our boys by my side, all the ladies know we fly. Same cash, Lulu Jam, what a beautiful night. We gon' party all night till the morning rise. Conversating with you, got me acting the fool. It's a rap, homeboy, we just better than you. Yeah. Hey, you, hey, yeah, that's my ooh, yeah. I say that's my ooh, yeah. I say that's my ooh, yeah. I'm a strap. We in Alaska, what I was, what I call. That's my ooh, we in Alaska, what I was, what I call. That's my ooh, we in Alaska, what I was, what I call. That's my ooh, we in Alaska, what I was, what I call. I'm on top of the world, I see Martians. My boys here and we something like the Spartans. I'm the reason to blame when you see the name. It's hard to catch up when you know your label lame. I was strong and my people get along. Conflicts might occur, so I'm sorry for my wrong. Why get mad at me, saying it's only human? What's it gonna be, teacher versus student? I make moves like chess, you know who the best. Now I'm climbing to the top, leaving all the rest. Shown a lot of love for my usos at the west, but east side till I die, now I must confess. I ain't perfect, all my life was worthless. No regrets, I keep a lookout for my choices. I stay true there. I'm a voice and you already know that. What you see when you're looking at me, it's your boy from the ACT. Yeah, that's why my hood at. I'm a voice and you already know that. What you see when you're looking at me, it's your boy from the ACT. Yeah, that's my ooh, yeah. I say that's my ooh, yeah. I say that's my ooh, yeah. I'm a strap.
O le vaa au fausia le fausanga whaanei o na pō o le whaipakalasi. Ma au foe e peo ni sipuni ua fausia whapitoa e asu e le sami e fisosoani tele i le sawa o le fautasi. I le saunoanga le tō whaia lau New Sailua. E tusa lava po le a le fausanga o le fautasi. E pa u lava i le kapiteni ma le au vaa e una ia le vaa i le taimi o le tuunga. Ma o le maasani o tangata o le atunuu i le aso e matua tumutumu au tafa o le sami whaapea manafuanga tu lata i le sami i le tapua inga le atunuu ma o vaenga ia e le maa ai i le afioanga o aua le tuunga fautasi mai tausanga o tua nai se i o mai lava le tausanga le nei i le whaamoe moe o tutu i la mamanua.
O le mai tau atu o le tausanga o le whaamana tuina o le se lau tausanga tutu i la manua le lua afe. O le tausanga len sa iai sa whai eimo preliminary races fair po heats e la le tuungal na o le heats la e sa mua manmalo i le pai po le sa mua lea ia a o le tuunga atua lava la tau i o le tausanga lea o le whaamana tuina o le se lau tausanga le sa siampini ai le sa o le whael whani sa mua mai whangsa. Ia o e iei fo isi tuunga e wai e temine o le toi whaia tuunga i o tuunga le moso oi. Ia o le tausanga le iwa walu na malo e fo i le pai po. Ia o tuunga ia wha le moso oi o tuunga whaia o i foa i le ingtamo ngai whaia o le whawhia sofi lunga le waa naru. Ia e tuunga le mini games masalo po le tausanga le iwa fitu po ia na tutolu e fo i le sa lea le sa tuai lea le afioanga. Ia ai o le sa phone ne o lo i le temile. Ia ua te aluana whai le sa ne o ua o lo ilunga le top 3. Le tausanga lua afes full maliva. Ia le sa taunu mai lola i o le manu malo o le mua i le whaanga tamaltai le whaamana tuino o le aso le fu o te tuila manu o le tausanga lua afes full maliva. Ia o na sawala i o le tausanga o tuanai. Ia e le tau fo i lau o le whaamoe la tausanga o tuanai. Ia o le alawa lo mātou ta alulunga o le top 3 leo i la fole. Mai peo na whai atu e leo se ta penanga patala pelo le mele ta pena i fo le mātou nu. O le ai lava mana sini o le whaamoe i awhia anga uma. Ia o le mua lava. Mātou te le mana o le tūlua, tūtolu, mai tūlanga o le mua lava le tamwhainga lo iei nei.
Mai lava i le amatanga o tuunga fautasi. E whisui ia i lava le whainga o vaenga o le tuunga. E ofo i lava i le mamau e tutu ai sa ta itasi. Mai le amatanga sa masani lava. E na o le tasi ma le afa maila. Pe lua maila foi. Ai ona o tupu le taalonga o whape na ai foi. Ona tele suinga. Ma whao popo ai foi. Ma le mamau ua amata ai i tuunga. Fuafua i le tau. Whape ai le tūlanga o le sisi o le sami.
O le tapenanga o le matonu, o le totele ia ma le anoa i o le whanau o le nuu. Ia o atu i whafo i le lātou tautonga wha le malo. Ia ua mai a whai o lātou tautonga. Ia le wuto e fo i mai i le awhioanga. Ia whauau le lātou tautua i tono le nuu. Ia o whanau i le nuu o ua o lo o ave i aile le a foi le wha mua o le mātou nuu e o mai e fisosani mo i tapenanga. Ia o metotia masani. E o te manatu e whapena o mai tusa maisi a whioanga i o lātou tapenanga. Ai o te ilo ia va ai male mai tau watu. Ia e peona o whai atu walua masina taluona ta momoe ma ta pena o ia ua. Ia a tono lisi lea vaenga e ei se whaasiri ngā atu pe e se atu ai le ta pena ngā o le awhia o ngā ua. ia mai tapenanga o isi a whianga.
I le sauni atu o le atunuu ai mai se o awhiuanga ta itasi, mo whai ngā mea le tai, na saunoa ai le tōwha i alau niu sailua, e mo moli ana whaamanianga i kapeteni o sa ta itasi, ai mai se o tapua inga mau, a le atunuu tutui la mamanua.
Kai au masui o le awhianga o aua i le awhianga o le sao soli. E fwoi le awhio tua i ali whau mali whau, i ali awhio fwoi o li o le whaleona o le talenga fwoi, ia na ua o le pau ai lua mal tūwhanga o le mamalu ale o le launi o sailua. E vatu ai o mātou whaamanianga, ia i le whaamanatuina o le kisi ngā fua ia naisi fwoi las whanau o tutuila manua. I nei tausanga i tele o tātou i lalo o whaamalmalunga o le malu tele o Amerika. Ia e watu o mātou whaamanianga i le ngata fwoi lea. E watu o mātou whaamanianga mo mātou tālusanga i awhioanga teitasi, i tāpo inga i awhioanga teitasi. Ia whionga i li waa mo lātou au waa, ia ma lātou tāpenanga a wāle nei wha moe moe. Ia tātou tūli matai pēa le manu lauti ma le wha moe moe o nei tālonga. Ia maua e whanau o le atunuu le nofo whea alufani. Ia ai o le mātou talo lea, ia alofangia fo i le tua le tāpua inga o le mātou nu, ia whioanga o le sao soli. Ia meise level tāpua inga i au whaalupenga, i o mātou tamā matina mātua, i e se o lava le whanawiti, ia au mātou moonga, ia tātou talo i le tua i e sao mauli wha moe moe tuina manua. Ia mai ale lei le tāpia tu ngā waa ma le whaanga tama le tai. Ia sao mauli awan e se soifua e mai mau, awa foi nei e se soifua e a pia ia i le wha moe moe lea tutuila manua. Manuia tele lau tāpo inga, ia tutuila manua, ia me se foi tāpo inga mai atu mua mpule, ia tua whasoifua mai aua.
Ia wa kausanga foi wa kele foi o le ala war faanga kama o e kuli al mako mafa ia o manga kuli de mafa ia fa popo koi malo nga va ia fiafia male koso ia ia le karkunga ia ele ia se au va ele o finga ele fo se au va ele fia mang malo ia ai o lo fa malo sia ma ko